Hi, I'm Paul Brodie. We're in my shop here. I'm going to be a fabricator. We're going to make stuff. Mitch behind the camera, working his magic as usual. It's not motorcycles today. It's shop. It's a toolbox. I have a toolbox. A lot of you have a toolbox too. And I've been thinking about this idea for a very long time, maybe even decades. I don't know about you, but I find it really handy to have a shelf here. You can tell, I put stuff on here. And then when I want to get inside, I have to put this stuff somewhere else, open it up, and then usually some stuff goes back on top. So what I want to do is to make a shelf that fits over top that I can still use as a storage space. And when I want to access the top of my toolbox, it hinges. It hinges to the side. I open it up, I get what I want, put the lid down, and the shelf goes back to where it was. Over here, look, I have a drawing. If you can call this a drawing, it's a piece of cardboard. This is the toolbox in red. That's the outline. And that's where the hinge is going to be. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to work on the clamping system of the hinge. Can you see what I got here? That's the first part. Oh yeah, look at that cut. Okay, these clamps are going to hold the hinge. And so what is the hinge? The hinge is a tube. It's going to have bronze bushings on both ends. And then there's going to be an inch bar. This is what hinges inside the tube, inch bar. So it's got some weight, and the shelf is going to have some weight. So if I anchor these onto the sheet metal here, like that and like that, it could flex because there's going to be some weight there. So I don't want to have any flex. So I happen to have a piece of aluminum. It's 3/8 of an inch, and it's going to bolt on here. So I took off the handle, so it's got a couple threads here, so I drilled those, and then I'm going to put some sheet metal screws in here, and the sheet metal screws are going to go in there. That's going to go like that. That's going to be really solid. So the next step here is to drill and tap for these mounts here. So one's going to go here, one's going to go there. You can see the red lines. So I'm going to tap a hole and a second hole, and then we'll put these on. We also have to bore out. This is going to go around this 1.25 inch tube. There's the 1.25 inch tube in the middle, and these go on either side, and the thread goes, it's going to get countersunk there, and the thread will go into the plate. I'm going to cut some card out because I'm going to put some cardboard in between so that when I take out the cardboard, it'll squash on the tube. So this is just a little trick. So I got the clamps made. Now I put in the tube. That fits nicely. So I clamp these down so they don't move, and then I can drill that hole there and then tap it. So there's a little bit of a method going on here, just so that everything lines up really well. Oh, look. That's a pretty good fit. That's all I'm doing. I'm just marking the hole. If you don't have a piece of aluminum, you could use a nice piece of plywood just to help out. That could work too. I'm just showing you this so that you get the idea of what's going on. You don't have to make it exactly the same way. Oh yeah, that seems to work fine. Okay, installation is complete. That turned out quite nice. Okay, this tube, it's actually 4130. It's a nice tube. 1¼ OD 095 wall. I happen to have it. So it's going to get mounted like so. And one of the advantages of holding the clamps, a two-part clamp, is that I can slide this up and down. I can get this exactly the height that I want. So that's good. What we need to do is to make a bushing. A bushing has to go into here. I made one for the inside last night. So you see the bronze bushing? It's got a few thou clearance for the rod for the inch shaft. So we need to make one for here, and it has to go outside because there's a load coming down onto there. So let's go to the lathe, make up a bushing. That's fine. That's a good fit. So that's going to get bored out, and the inch shaft is going to fit right through. So we got a bronze bushing at the top. That's also a thrust, acting as a thrust washer. And then this has got a bronze bushing on the bottom. So let's go back over here. Oh, look at that. A couple thou play, that's fine. Okay, that's good. Let's install the hinge now. Well, we'll just put it right there for now, because that's what's nice about this. I can adjust the height of the shelf. So that should be pretty solid because it's chromoly. It's bolted onto a nice aluminum plate. So the next step is to make the shelf. So I'll show you what we got here. There's my outline of the toolbox. So I've got some I think this is 1/2 by 5/8. So we got a little welding coming up here. Can you see how that all fits together? I'm just tacking here, that's what I'm doing. Look at that. Almost perfect. We'll just leave, that's good, that's fine. So what we need to do is to put the surround around now. So we'll do that. A couple little tack welds. Okay, this is going to get welded onto here now, right on the corner, and that's where the inch cold rolled gets welded into. Can't say I've done this before. There we go. How's that? Looks like it's pretty solid. Okay, that's it tight. And I think it has to come in a little bit this way. Because it should be pretty good. Okay, that looks a lot better now, so this is just a piece of tubing because it has to, that has to go on top of that, because this here is going to have a weld, so it's not going to spin freely. So there we go. So let's see what happens here. Okay. Woohoo! Look at that. It moves pretty nicely. So it looks like it, okay, see how there's a bit of flex here? Can you see the flex? We want this to be level, and it looks like it hangs down a little bit. So what we need here is a support. Let me show you what I've got. Okay, this is off my old race bike. Well, the bike I still have, but this is version 1. Can you see the cable there? That's the cable we're going to use. It's out of the sailboat industry. It's all made out of stainless steel. Here's the cable. It's going to go from here, and it's going to hold up that. So I've got this made, and I've also made, see this? This is going to get welded onto here, like that. And then we need something to hold this thread. This is 5/16 Nashville fine, and it's going to go around there. So I have something in mind. So let me make you a sketch of what I want to do. And there's going to be a thread inside there. You notice that's not left hand or right hand thread, it's just the thread. This is the top view. Like that. And the thread's in there. And there's the hole right there. So that's what I want to make out of here's the piece that I want to use. So we're going to go over to the lathe. So for you who have done some work on a lathe and machining, what's the first operation? What am I going to do first? That's what I'm asking you. I went through this in my head last night. I count 6 different operations to make this piece. Mill, lathe, actually lathe, mill, lathe. Let's go do the first operation. I wanted to see how long this is going to take me, so here we go. Stopwatch is on. That's a plunge. I'm trying 4 degrees because I'm just guessing here. I don't know. I'm thinking 4 degrees is about right. There we go, that's what I wanted it to look like. So I need to do a little deburring, but 20 minutes and 25 seconds. So that's about what I thought. So oh, look at that. All the welding's done. We just have to put a piece of plywood in here. So I do have a piece of plywood. I think it came out of my house years ago. So we just have to cut that, put the rubber on top, and we'll call it a day. So a little bit of woodwork now. So how's this? Hey, look at that. It's been a fun project. Thank you for hanging out in our shop here. We like coffee, Mitch and I. If you buy us coffees, much appreciated. Hope to see you next time. You take care.